welcome to another episode of Sales Spotlight. I'm your host Anil, and today we have a very special guest with us on today's episode, Jeremy from TC9. Jeremy is the founder of AI Allbound agency that takes care of LinkedIn, Outbound, and which brings the entire growth to you. Jeremy, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here with you, Anil.
Yeah, how's going your side?
Good, good. Busy. So, good problems.
Awesome. So Jeremy is a pro, I would say, AI expert. He talks about outbound, inbound, and LinkedIn, and a lot of stuff. We'll talk a lot of other things. So before we start, we would love to know more about Jeremy. So Jeremy, can you please share a bit of yourself and your background, so our audience and our who is listening have a clear idea about you, and we can talk about other things as well later on. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I will make it short. As you mentioned, I talk about many things, and I love AI and technology in general. And it comes from my background. I've always been working in tech in France. At some point, I was even like an IT consulting a consultant myself. At some point, I decided to jump on the other side, in the business side, the sales side, and I started as a business developer. It wasn't even SDR, BDR, AE at the moment. It was full cycle business developer in 2019 in a
Okay.
French startup, and I learned everything from there, inbound, outbound. And after a year in this position, I had the opportunity to create the entire sales department for another startup. I jumped in this new adventure, being head of sales of something new. And I like to say that I made all the mistakes possible. I tried almost everything, every channel, every strategy, everything to get some sales. And after 3 years, I decided to jump on a new adventure again. No, 1 year ago, actually. It's almost the anniversary with this solo adventure and now the agency adventure with C9.
Yeah, that's awesome, and congratulations for that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, everyone talks about that AI and automation saves a lot of time for businesses. What do you think on that? Does it really, or what?
It does. It does. It's hard to measure exactly, but when to give you a concrete example, which should um, be relevant for the audience. When I was myself an SDR, working on cold emails campaigns, for example, if you want to do it right, you have to do a lot of research to make your email the most relevant possible for your target, for your prospect, and you have to do some research to understand their pain points, to understand if now is the right timing, etc. It's a lot of work, and I remember spending days in enriching those lists, doing it manually. You have to
True.
scroll LinkedIn yourself, make Google research yourself, finding the right angle, the right icebreaker. And at some point, sometimes it doesn't work, and you spend just hours doing this. So now you can basically do everything, all the research you can do it with AI, and if it's done well, of course, it's very relevant. So days, you can save days in your month. It's this kind
Hmm.
of numbers, I would say.
Yeah, as days passes, it is becomes crucial for everyone to adapt and expertise on these things, right?
Yeah, yeah. If you are competing with someone using AI, and you are not, you probably are losing the battle for sure.
Okay. One more thing that we are hearing on LinkedIn or everywhere, right? AI will replace SDRs in future. What is your expert advice, or what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, that's difficult. I think the role and the way we should use AI, at least, um, is to do the repetitive and boring tasks for us. So I was mentioning, like finding information on a LinkedIn profile, it's not very exciting, but it's required to make your message relevant. So this kind of task would be replaced, and they are already been done. They are already done by AI, which is pretty good and saves more time for SDRs to work on more valuable tasks, in my opinion, like okay, strategies, finding the right angle to talk to this kind of people or this kind of prospects. So I think this human touch will always be required, but the role is evolving. That's for sure. It's changing, and yeah, in my opinion, it's for the good, because the role itself would be more interesting for people doing it, and the output of it would also be more relevant for everyone. So I think it's quite positive. It won't replace us at 100% at the moment. Maybe in the future we'll see. But also SDRs should, in my opinion, always should work on their personal branding, push content, engage with their audience on LinkedIn. So that's also something new that SDR didn't do before. So yeah, the entire
True,
market and the roles are changing thanks to AI. So yeah, we need
true,
to keep
true.
an eye on this.
I also think this same on this same topic that AI and automation will empower the SDRs. They won't
Yeah,
replace.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah. So Jeremy, as you run TC9 and you do outbound and LinkedIn both, right? So when it comes to outbound, right? How did you find uh, AI cold email generators, right? Did you have you ever used or how does it impact on overall results?
Yeah, so I think AI is best in research for cold email campaign. This is where the real value comes from. Regarding the copy itself, most of the time I use AI to fill some variables that are the result of the research, for example. So the copy stays kind of human, I would say 50-50. Having an entire email written by AI is a bit risky, I would say, still at the moment. Or you have to be a very good prompt engineering. That's possible, but it's not without any risks. So yeah, I would say using AI for outbound, yes. Using it for best task like research would be the best option. And some other tools are interesting actually when you are working on the next steps, when you are following up, having a conversation with a lead. Some Chrome extension are very good to help you drive the conversation. They are guiding you, suggesting you um, part of the reply or the reply, and then you can just as again you enhance your human being driving to drive the conversation. So this kind of tools make sense, but not in the in the campaigns itself. At least not 100%.
Hmm, true. And one more thing, Jeremy, as you create a lot of content on LinkedIn, right, these days, and you create content for your clients as well, right?
Yeah.
So that creating content on LinkedIn, does it helps in increasing the results or impact of cold emailing? What you are, you know, for example, if you're running a cold email campaign and meanwhile you are also writing on LinkedIn for those clients, right?
Yeah.
Does the mixed up strategy works better or what?
Yeah, of course, it takes time. Like LinkedIn won't transform everything overnight, that's for sure. But yes, it has an impact. It's hard to measure. It depends on the stage you are and etc. But I have a concrete example. Actually, I had a meeting with my one of my clients yesterday,
Okay.
and he told me, like, I've seen profile views, like people visiting my LinkedIn profile, and we know that they come from the campaigns, because we are tracking stuff, and we know the positive replies from our campaigns or our email campaigns, and we concretely saw that those same people have been replying to the email and looking at the LinkedIn profile. So yes, is it the reason why they replied? Not sure, but it played a role for sure. That's for sure. So yeah, it has an impact, and the more you will build your authority, the more you will show expertise online, you will, you will generate trust. You will look trustworthy for anyone looking at it. And when you are in a cold outbound strategy, they don't know you at all, it helps to generate trust.
Yeah. So whenever you open LinkedIn, you hear about inbound led outbound these
Yeah.
days, right? Even we also write about that. So, in your opinion, it really works or just another buzzword?
Yes, I like it. I like it. The word itself, the branding on the word itself might be marketing for sure, but um, the concept itself, I call it Allbound. Basically, it's quite almost the same thing. But this concept, by mixing inbound and outbound, and using intent signals, triggers, to be relevant and to be here at the right moment, I think this is not a trend. This is not a buzz. It's a real thing, and it's, in my opinion, it has good days in the future, in front of good days ahead of it.
Okay, one thing I have analyzed specifically, we run a lot of cold email campaigns, right? And what we analyzed, what we are seeing these days, outbound led inbound also works well, right? For
Oh yeah, yeah,
example, yeah, it's a
yeah,
reverse approach
yeah.
although. But when you send a cold email campaign to 1000 folks, right, and you just say your brand awareness with them,
Yeah,
later on they, once they need kind of solution, they will search your website on Google and then they'll visit and they sign up and then you use product, right?
yeah,
So
for
the
sure.
reverse approach also works very well these days.
Yeah. I try also to brand some words, and invent some concept myself. And I have this one that I like to call the trust loop, which is basically this. So if your prospect knows you from your content and then receive an email, the trust would be increased. They all know you. But it also works the other way around. If they receive a cold email from you and then look at your email, you will win. You will gain trust. So it works in both ways. Like just what you said.
True. So it worked for you, right?
It is. It works. As I
Great.
said, I am busy. So yeah, it works.
Okay, AI automation and all bound, outbound led, inbound led, outbound. What is the
Yeah.
future of lead generation?
Hard to say. Hard to say. But what I think is a real trend is that, the if we look at the past, we see that salespeople and technology always have one step uh, uh, forward, the market itself, but the market educates itself and grow too. So at the moment, so for example, 5 years ago, you could blast emails and have positive replies with decent numbers, actually, because people were not used to get those kind of email at this moment. Today, if you just blast emails and wait and pray and pray, and wait and hope for the best, it probably won't work that well. So the market has evolved, and I think we are seeing the same thing with AI. So 2 years ago, when you were super specific in your email, saying, mentioning something very precise, using AI, it was super impressive. Today, it's not that impressive, because it has become more normal. So I think one thing which won't change is to be relevant. People don't care about someone reaching out to them, pitching their offer, and trying to hard sell something. They want to, there is so much competition. You have to be super accurate, super relevant. So this is the future, and how it will take place, how it will happen, that's hard to say. But I think, yeah, all bound is a good answer, in my opinion, of course.
True. So a lot of people say that call calling doesn't work. Some say cold emailing doesn't work. Some say inbound doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
I think mixing up all these strategies works best. So you have
Yeah.
to test what works for you.
Yeah, exactly. So So, for example, it happened to me to say to a prospect that cold email wasn't a good solution for them, and that I couldn't help them with this offer, basically, um, because some channels will work for some industries, from some companies, some markets, but sometimes it just doesn't because it's not the right thing to do. So yeah, it depends. It depends. It's not the answer for everything, and same, you can't say it doesn't work because it depends. It depends if
True.
your time, your total addressable market is big enough, your offering is relevant to this kind of procedure. Every parameter that you can take into account. So yeah, from my advice for any sales strategist or sales head of sales, as you mentioned, is to try and find what works for you, for your specific business and your specific context. And maybe it's cold email, maybe it's cold call, maybe it's both of them, maybe it's not
True.
at all. Maybe it's just go to an event, shake hands, old school way. Maybe that's your solution.
Got it. Got it. We are almost ready for the rapid fire round. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, the first one is one automation tool you can't live without.
Oh, clay, of course. clay
Clay.
clay is clay is crucial in 2024, I think. But it's more advanced. You need to learn it. The learning curve might be difficult. So yeah, it's very powerful, but also it requires some of your you have to invest in it. But that's a good investment in my opinion.
True. I also find the same. Clay is really awesome. It has, made everything very easy, Clay agent and everything. It's a
Yeah,
really awesome tool. I
yeah,
think
definitely.
you can award it as a tool of 2024.
Yeah, it was already a tool of 2023, but
Yeah,
again this year.
got it, got it. LinkedIn or email for outreach, which works better? So when I'm asking about it, it means like LinkedIn outreach or cold email outreach.
um Cold email first, short term, LinkedIn long term.
Okay, got it. Hmm.
Yeah, you need to, if you want me to develop a bit. uh, Emails are, you can do volume with cold email, so you can also at the same time gather data and learn from your audience what works, what doesn't, what messaging, what angles, etc., etc. And with this data you can have very efficient LinkedIn campaigns because you already know. And as LinkedIn is limited, the platform limits the number of interaction you can do. You better use something that you know will work. So yeah.
Okay, so again, coming back to the cold email outreach part, right? So now we have seen that Gmail is restricting a lot of open tracking, and they have rolled out a new thing. So keeping the email tracking open or off, on or off.
Yeah, you can keep it open on at the beginning, so you can measure a bit and also gather data from your campaign. And at some point, if you see positive replies, that means they opened it. So you can turn it on, turn it off at this stage.
One AI hack for email deliverability.
Uh, that's a good question. Spin tax, maybe AI spin tax could be interesting.
Oh, yeah, it does help, really.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bit advanced too, but it's pretty good.
True. Personalization or relevance in cold emails. Which one impacts most?
Relevance, relevance first.
Okay. One thing you wish AI could do for you.
Uh, Many things in code outbound strategy. One thing which is interesting is most of the time you spend a lot of time building your lead lists, and having an AI assistant helping you doing this might be interesting. Defining, make sure that they match your ICP, defining your targets, playing around with the filters, stuff like this. Telescope AI is going in this direction. I think they are doing a good job, but yeah, we can do even better probably.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, Jeremy, thank you so much for taking time for us and just recording this podcast. And thank you so much for who is watching this podcast. So stay tuned. Keep watching Sales Spotlight for call emailing and sales stuff. So thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to be here with you.